It's showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
What a fine Saturday morning to you, gents.
It really is.
It's a super Saturday morning.
It is.
Is that like a football thing? Super Saturday.
Sure, I don't know. What's the weather like where you are?
Super
Saturday.
Super
You'll buy the seat,
Saturday.
You need the edge.
Sábado gigante.
Hey, Peter, we live on the YouTube or not?
No, we're
That's
not
okay.
tonight.
We're not tonight. They
Nope,
they
not
don't
tonight.
like us.
Nope.
Okay.
We are not tonight. And
I mean, this morning. I mean,
this morning.
in the bright
Nope.
early mornings.
It just feels like tonight tonight because we've stayed up all night partying, right? That's us.
That's right. Hey, I missed last week because I am just wrapping my 2-week-long post-Oscar party.
There you go.
Is that what it was? I thought. Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
What a run.
And what did you
2
do
weeks.
after your Oscar party? Did you rescue any cattle, Pete?
Our top story this morning. The Clown Prince of Crime rescues a cow. Now, I laugh. I'm sure he had a purpose. Joaquin Phoenix rescues a cow and her calf. Steve?
Well, part of his speech was, highlighting different issues. And, one of them is about inhumane acts of the dairy industry, apparently. And so he decided to follow up on, I'm going to practice what I preach. And, we've got to, treat each other better. We've got to treat animals better. So he went to a slaughterhouse and brought along some cameras, had a discussion with the president and CEO, and was able to, quote unquote, liberate a cow and her calf. He named the mother Liberty and the baby Indigo and took them to a little farm sanctuary.
Is this like a starfish example? Is that what he's doing here?
Starfish example. What is that?
Oh,
the guy
pick
on the
up
beach,
and there's thousands of them, but he's picking up
he
one
throws
at a time.
one back in, and
Yeah.
it's like,
Okay.
why do you do that? What does it matter? It matters to this
To
one.
this one.
To
Right.
this one. I
Yes.
get it.
These two,
Yeah.
the other thousands that are slaughtered, but hey, it makes a difference for this one. Yes.
Liberty and Indigo will live out their lives in a farm upstate, riddled in shame and survivor's guilt.
Yes.
It feels a little bit stunty to me.
It's just because it wasn't you, Pete. You wouldn't say that if it was you
I
who
didn't
went
have
into
the
it.
idea.
Yes, it wasn't your idea first. So
As long as we've known each other, we still don't really know each other.
oh, it was your idea. You gave it to me. I apologize.
Apparently, the longtime, this is in the article at movieweb.com, longtime vegans and vegetarians are proud of Joaquin Phoenix for shedding more light on animal rights. Absolutely, as they should be. I ate vegetarian tonight.
Oh,
I had
I ate
waffles.
a vegetarian tonight.
Next week, Joaquin Phoenix will be rescuing somebody from the grips of a cannibal. It's fantastic. The next issue now that we've solved cows.
See, what he really needs to do is I can't remember the name of the short story. There's a short story that's the story of like these cows, and they're talking, and they tell the story of the one that came back, and it's like the story of the cow that went to the slaughterhouse and manages to escape, and tells the story of like what happens to them when they get loaded on the truck and nobody believes them. It's this horrific story, and I can't remember what the name of the short story was, but if he's really interested in, supporting, liberation of animals from slaughterhouses, he should make that into a movie, or he needs to arm wrestle Temple Grandin. I think those are the two things that he could do to...
He can't.
The movie sounds like...
Because of his press, he cannot arm wrestle Temple Grandin. She will destroy him. I don't know if you saw
like
him in The
Sausage Party.
Joker. He's very frail.
But he can incite other people to help.
Yes.
That's where it comes in.
That's true. Excellent save, Andy. Excellent save. We have, what else do we have? The Police Academy movies are coming back. Are you kidding?
Some
Yes.
people
No,
applaud that, perhaps.
Is
You
that,
know who
when
I'll
are you
bet
guys
is
doing that
applauding
as a,
that?
You're doing
Let me
that as a
just tell you.
series, right?
We've been waiting for this new series to come out, yes. There are
think I
7
know.
movies.
Are there 7?
8 movies, actually, because there was up through 6. Yeah, there's a lot of Police Academy movies. We could do that,
it's been
Pete.
so
Police Academy,
long.
Police Academy 2, their first assignment. 3, Back in Training, 4, Citizens on Patrol, 5, Assignment Miami Beach, 6, City Under Siege. Then there was Mission to Moscow. Then, and then I guess that was it. So maybe there were only 7.
Have you seen them all,
series.
Andy?
No, I'm not. I saw probably because they were popular, so popular that they came out once a year. Like that, like they were just really riding that train. They rode that train.
Remember, you guys, Steve Guttenberg was a hell of a draw.
Between that and Short Circuit?
That's right.
Yeah. No, I probably saw through 4, maybe 5. I feel like 5, I remember the trailer, one of the cops like pointing a gun at a shark that was in the waters, threatening the beachgoers, and like sticking the gun at the shark's nose underwater. And I think I may have seen that trailer and said, no, that might have been where I stopped.
That's too far. Okay.
I have to tell you, there is some enormously satisfying, very stupid humor in those movies, and I would not be opposed to actually watching
doing it by the minute.
Number 1 again by minute.
Police Academy by the minute.
Oh no! So all 7 of them by the minute. Wow!
And the series.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay. There was a series. I didn't realize this. There were 7 movies. Then there was a TV show, and then there was a second TV show. Now apparently it's going to be a third TV show. The first TV show ran 88 to 89. The second one, 97 to 98.
Wow.
Who knew?
Well, if Bobcat Goldthwait can be convinced to change his mind and come back, that may satisfy. You know what, Andy? You know what this is? This could be to the geriatric action series. This is like the Expendables of dumb comedy. I imagine that you would be a guy who'd be super into this. And we could do like Red and then Police Academy reboot and right?
Who's doing this TV show?
It's on HBO Max.
What's HBO Max? Is that like
allegedly.
Cinemax and HBO had a baby?
No. They're
No.
I think they're
Sounds like it.
It's HBO Max is a new what was it?
It's their generic streaming service. Is what it is.
Okay.
It's going to have a lot of stuff on it, and they're still going to have the HBO Premium brand, as I understand it. But HBO Max will have more stuff, more crossover stuff, more series. I think they're going to throw less money at more stuff. How about that?
Oh dear. Well, I'm curious now if anyone from the original stuff is coming back for it, or if it's all just if it's like recast.
You throw some money at Steve Guttenberg, he'll show up, I'm sure.
What? Yeah,
well,
what
he and Michael Winslow have been talked to. Jordan Peele. They've talked to Jordan Peele about it. They've talked to Bobcat Goldthwait, who said he's not interested in it, but. These are early leaks. It looks like they're also talking about a new Oceans installment in the same article. So I only bring that up because you're going to see it when you click through and read this article. That I don't know why they would want to do another Oceans movie after 8 wasn't that successful. But if they can get George Clooney and Brad Pitt back, they might do another Oceans 14. It's got a lot of people to write for.
So confusing.
By Ocean's 18, it's going to be practically Avengers Endgame. Everybody will be CG'd into the heist. It'll be great. You guys are going to love it. I can already tell. Amazing Stories is back. We got the first trailer for Amazing Stories. Now, I imagine, looking at the three of us, we were all fans of the original Amazing Stories.
Oh, yes. I loved it. I have the first season on DVD, actually.
Not Laserdisc, Andy? No
Laserdisc of that? You.
The first trailer dropped. What do you think of it?
I'm thrilled. I'm excited to see what they do with it. I mean, I loved them. I hope it spurs them on to release the second season on some format, because that had some episodes that I really enjoyed that they that have never been put out there again. So I'm curious. Looking at the trailer, it sounds like it's news stories, but some of them look like familiar. So I'm like, so is it a few news stories and then some like the old Alfred Hitchcock Presents that they remade in the 80s that were actually just some of them were remakes of the originals. So I'm curious if they're going that road or what they're doing.
Well, because it's only 5 stories. Right?
Yeah,
that's what. Right. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, it's been a long time since I watched any of the Amazing Stories, so I couldn't readily identify if any of these were revisiting similar stories or if these were all new stories. But I think this is, at least in my estimation, something like this is happening because of the success of a show like Black Mirror, where you get, people will show up for these sort of, short
anthology
shows. Yes, exactly. So,
although interestingly, did Twilight Zone do very well? I mean, they buried it on CBS All Access in the early days.
I forgot that they came out with that.
I will have to take a look to see if it's still there because I did, get the CBS Access for Star Trek Picard, but I haven't dug around in there enough to see if it's there or
well, it is still there.
Is it there? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's definitely there. And I signed up
too, but
Steve.
Did they just do one season of it? I mean, was that it?
They did. As far as I know, they just did the one season.
And that was it, right? Oh, okay.
Yeah. I haven't heard any news about it, and you'd think that would be something that would crop up. Do we need to talk about politics?
No, we can talk to the Train to Busan follow-up.
It's not a sequel. Let's do that one. That's better.
That's more fun because we all enjoyed that movie. So it's not a sequel, right? We did all enjoy Train to Busan,
and also
right?
talking about Train to Busan is an opportunity to talk about South Korean films in a positive light. Let's just say that. There's our political message.
There we go.
Okay, Andy, this is why you're a podcasting professional.
I didn't mean for my tone to sound like it was,
It was no. Oh, no. Yes, we all loved.
We all loved it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not sarcastic at all. But this is not a sequel, but in the same world, and it's called Peninsula. So I like this idea of being able to revisit a world without being tied to those same characters. It gives us the opportunity to tell a different story with similar elements without having to struggle with, well, what story do we tell about this character or these characters again? Which I think that was sort of what they did with 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later, 28 Years Later. It wasn't, I don't remember. Because it wasn't the same characters in that, was it? With 28
weeks later? No. It was Robert Carlyle in the second one and his family. The first one was with what's his butt?
Our favorite, yeah. And they went back and they saw Doctor Who in the second one.
Maybe. I don't remember the beginning. Yes, they did. Was that okay? Not Eccleston.
And the big house, and they set
that's
up.
The first one.
Military.
That's the first one.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, the second one.
Man,
the second one has an even bigger military thing going on.
Oh, okay.
Well, and the mansion, right? Was that still the first one?
That's still the first one. Yes, that's the one we've talked about on the show.
I only watch these movies together. Right? You'd think I would know, right? I don't know where they stop anymore. I watch them exactly 28 weeks apart.
There you go. But the good news is it's in post-production, but has already been sold to North American distributor Well Go USA. So we will be getting it here in some format. But I did really enjoy that, and I like this approach to, well, it's like same universe.
It's like Fear the Walking Dead, right? I mean, it's the same principle. You're taking the same apocalyptic zombie problem that's happening, and you're just looking at it in a different place. So
I'm a fan of that. Yeah. I like that.
I like to think that they're in the same universe as The Walking Dead, actually.
Oh, okay.
And World War Z. Just wait.
All the same.
Eventually it'll be zombie on zombie
All
action.
zombie movies are within the same cinematic universe?
They sure are.
The ZCU.
Here's what's not in the same cinematic universe. I only bring this up only because it is, knowing that it's not the most popular bit of news for me to be following, but I am going to give you the Shantaram update that they have halted production because they don't know how to write it. And if you have read Shantaram, you would know that might be a problem that they should have seen coming. It is a massive story and a massive book. And apparently, while all the episodes have been outlined, the showrunner and quote, high-profile screenwriter Eric Warren Singer, behind Top Gun, Maverick, and American Hustle, has not completed all the necessary scripts, and he will now leave the show. New showrunner is expected to be hired soon. Filming is unlikely to resume. They have filmed 2 episodes of the 10, and now they don't know what to do next. So stay tuned here for your Shantaram update. More as we know it, folks.
We're not going off the air until we get more news on what's going on with Shantaram.
This is the Charlie Hunnam that he is heading this one up, and it's a Charlie Hunnam thing after The Gentleman. I know we like old Charlie Hunnam. He's a nice fellow. Calls his mother often, and we're sad that the show has been put on hold because I think it's promising. It's a promising story, but apparently it was too difficult. This is hard. That's hard work.
Rough stuff.
We do trailers?
Let's do it.
Steve went first, right?
Steve gets to go first.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. This just ties everything together because I don't know the story of Shantaram, but it is about a heroin addict that escapes from a prison. And I've got a trailer that's about somebody escaping from a prison. And our list is about prison breaks. It's all coming together. This is just... So my trailer is, well, I guess I should say it's a bit of a dry climate for finding trailers right now. There wasn't a lot out there that really spoke to me. So I'm going back to one that actually was released back at the end of 2019, I think is when this trailer first dropped. So this is a film coming out right around the corner on March 6th. This is Escape from Pretoria with Daniel Radcliffe, which is based on the real life prison break of 2 political captives. And I love a good prison break story. And this one had some really innovative mechanisms they were using to escape that really intrigued me. I'm always up for a good Daniel Radcliffe movie, and this one just looks like they're doing some things I hadn't seen before. And the fact that it's based on a true story, I'll always show up for that.
I agree. I remember having seen this trailer the first time, and I feel like, and I sent out as soon as you picked this, I'm like, I think we already talked about that one, and I think it was because I got excited about it. And I wanted to pick it, and then ended up being a time when I wasn't around and I couldn't be on the show, or I picked something else instead. But I got excited by it because it looks really good, and it looks like the sort of prison break movie that looks really interesting. Making the key out of wood and trying to kind of go through that whole process, I thought was pretty interesting. So, and Daniel Radcliffe, I think, does a lot of really interesting films that he's been kind of following up with his Harry Potter experience, just doing some unique stuff. So, yeah, I think it looks really cool. I'm excited about this one.
Me too. His face is growing into his beard. You notice that? Like he's always been a guy who can grow a good beard. But the beard has been a little bit premature for his face, and now it's not.
He's finally growing into his beard.
He's growing into it's like a German Shepherd puppy growing into his ears,
into his paws, right? Or
into his paws.
Yeah.
Okay. That's exactly right. That's right. That's what we have here with
little puppy Radcliffe.
With the young Daniel. I think he looks great. I think the story looks really clever. I'm very interested in Francis Annan. I haven't seen anything else that he's done. He's got a bunch of shorts behind him. This looks like it could be his first major production. Feature production, and so I'm very excited to see what comes of it. Looks great.
Well, it's hitting the U.S. and U.K. on March 6th, though. Hopefully at a theater near you to check out some Daniel Radcliffe there for, I guess we could call it a spring break movie, right?
Okay, great.
Get it? He's
spring.
Yeah.
He's going to
spring break. He's going to
break. Yeah. Okay.
No, spring and break free.
Okay. All right. Time for more coffee. Time to wake up, guys.
That's right. That's right. My trailer. I don't know what to make of my trailer. I'm doing Run. I had some choices, and I did go with Run because honestly I thought Andy was going to go with Run. I thought it was going to be a lock for him. This from director Anish Chaganty, written by Anish Chaganty and Sev Ohanian, starring Sarah Paulson and Kira Allen. Mostly Sarah Paulson and Kira Allen. They a homeschooled teenager begins to suspect her mother is keeping a dark secret. It's one of those movies. We were just talking the other day about movies that do a good job of making banal subjects sexy, like research, like searching the internet. There are some clips in this trailer that make searching the internet damn thrilling, and I like the tone. I like Sarah Paulson looking scared and angry and screaming, and I think the trailer does enough to provoke a mood of curiosity for me that it looks like something I might just be into. It looks different. I don't know. So I just read this story about how the oldest Guinness Book of Records oldest woman in the world, who died at 122 years old, was a complete fraud, and that it was actually the woman died and then her daughter took over her identity, and then when the daughter died, they just made it as if it was one person, and suddenly that story feels like this story, that maybe they're one person and there's some sort of fraud going on, and it's creepy. There's a lot of creepiness in there.
I definitely didn't read that into the trailer. But
what do you?
Oh,
what did you think?
Oh, I didn't know this was the writer-director team that did Searching. Okay, one with John Cho trying to find, So
the internet one,
the whole internet
making
thing.
the internet sexy. Steve, do you see?
Oh, now I do. But see, there seemed to be not a lot of internet because Crazy Mom disconnects the internet. And it seems to be more of wheelchair antics around the house.
It is definitely wheelchair antics.
It's like Misery is what this was like.
Yeah.
Yes, it had elements of Misery to it.
But then they see the name changes. Like, what's her name? Do they have? What is the deal with the names? That's the thing that got me off on this identity thing.
Yeah, it's an intriguing little thriller that it's going to depend on the chemistry between these two leads in this. And from what I see in the trailer, I'm on board for this one. This is one that I don't know that I'll go to theaters to check out, but one that I'll definitely, shows up on streaming, I'll be there for. Maybe a double feature with Searching. Maybe because I haven't seen Searching. Have either of you seen that one?
I haven't.
I have seen Searching.
Okay. And I mean, it's at a solid 7.6 on IMDb. So,
the thing is, I worry about my bias because I'm a big John Cho fan. I like the John Cho a lot.
It has a great vibe to it that does feel like like that Misery sort of thing, like where you're trapped in this situation and you're trying to with somebody, you're trying to figure it out. I just liked the vibe that they had, and I really was fascinated by this actress opposite Sarah Paulson because I hadn't seen her before. So color me intrigued.
I will color you exactly intrigued. It comes out May 2nd.
I don't know if anyone actually says that, but
color
I'm gonna
you
make it
a deep intrigue. Yeah. Deep. I'm going to go over it twice. Intrigued and curious.
Indeed.
So get ready, May 2nd in the U.S. And that's what I got.
I got. I'm going with another trailer, kind of like Steve, that the trailer had actually dropped last October, but I totally missed it, never saw it. And now they're kind of plugging it again because the movie is coming out soon. It's a little indie film called Inside the Rain, and it is apparently it is a portrait of bipolar disorder and depression that some people are saying is fairly accurate as far as how they are depicting it in this film. Our protagonist of the film actually is a character who has bipolar disorder and depressed, and is trying to he decides he's going to go to college, and it kind of is a mistake because he can't quite connect there, and then he's having trouble connecting with he's got a counselor and his parents and these people in his lives and in his life, and then he decides he wants to meet a woman, but he doesn't know how, and so he goes to a strip club and ends up meeting a stripper there and finds a connection, and it ends up looking like a really interesting kind of a character comedy piece, kind of a drama comedy that has a little hint of romance in it. And it looked like a really interesting story about a guy who is dealing with some of these issues, but made it all feel very authentic and about real people. So I was really intrigued by this one. What do you guys think?
I am very, very much into this movie, especially because he says repeatedly in the beginning that he has bipolar and ADHD. And as a longtime host of Taking Control, the ADHD podcast, I have a very strong connection to the vibe he was putting down in this movie. I thought he looked great. I thought that you can actually see the bipolar, the OCD, the ADHD, like even in little tiny clips. It looked like a performance I'm super curious to explore.
Yeah, I was along mostly, and then in the trailer it takes the twist of he's trying to make a movie about his story, which I thought gets to this meta piece, and I thought, now I'm really intrigued by what's going on, because we've got some layers going on of, what is his perception of the story? What is this movie going to look like? There's a lot of things going on here, but in a way that doesn't look messy. It looks like it's just some layers building on that. I'm really intrigued by how well this is going to work, but it's something that I thought from the beginning, I thought, I've seen this type of thing before. I always get concerned of what, when we have a story around a person with with medical or, any of these types of issues, how are we accurately representing that? What are we saying about them? And this looks like it's doing a good job of representing that by allowing, to, I guess, without looking at I'm just babbling on right now. Without knowing that the writer and director, I was wondering if this was like based on a true story of somebody that actually had gone through this experience, and this movie was the movie that they wanted to make about their own personal thing. And maybe that is the case with Aaron Fisher.
Well,
I don't know.
What I'm reading is that, this film was written by, directed by, and stars Aaron Fisher, and it says he has these mental health disorders.
Okay. So it's him telling his own story. Well, fictionalized version, perhaps.
Yeah.
But that's
pretty interesting. I am very intrigued. It looks like this is going to be playing in select theaters around the U.S. starting March 13th. So just under a month away for this one. Seems like a perfect trailer rewind pick.
Yes, it does.
All right, what are we going to do? Are we going to do a little re-ranking?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we can.
I'm the one who remembered that? That's a first?
You didn't put it in the rundown. I mean, come on, we're going through this document, and it's like, where's the part in here where it's like, in bold letters, hey, let's re-rank some movies. Andy?
Oh, my.
Hey, let's
get it loaded.
Re-rank some movies.
Yeah.
Andy?
That's brilliant.
There we go. Put that in the template, Pete. We need that there.
Okay. Like I put an interrobang for you, Steve.
Oh, right. Excellent.
I don't even remember what that is. What was that?
It's an exclamation point question mark.
Oh,
yeah.
It's an enthusiastic question.
That's right.
Or as I like to say, the podcast toss. Andy?
Okay. All right. First up, Steve, you can keep track of the number of these that we do. So we do 10.
Oh, that's right. Are we? Okay. Yes.
First up, we have Kind Hearts and Coronets or The Prestige.
The Prestige.
I'll say, I'll say
The Prestige. I sure
The Prestige.
do like that Kind Hearts and Coronets, but The Prestige is the one.
I don't think Steve has seen Kind Hearts and Coronets.
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did?
I did. It was on the Criterion channel, and I did watch that one.
Okay, good. All right.
Yes, but I agree with both of you. The Prestige.
All right. Next up, we have, I can't do this one. I got to switch.
You can't do
what?
It's a film that Pete and I have discussed, but has not actually played on the show yet.
It was 2001 versus Hudson Hawk. Screw all y'all.
All right, next up we have The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension.
You know what? I'll stop you right there. The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai.
Opposite Infernal Affairs. I'm going to take Infernal Affairs, please.
It's Infernal Affairs.
Steve?
I loved Infernal Affairs.
I don't think Steve has seen Infernal Affairs.
No, I did. I did the whole, after you guys did that, and yes, and I agree.
Okay, so you agree with us? You were so quiet. I just assumed that you hadn't seen it.
No, I wasn't, because I'm like, I love me some Buckaroo Banzai, because I saw that when I was like, 14 years old.
You were the age to see that.
I was the age, and I love that movie so much. So I always have to say Buckaroo Banzai, because, No matter where you go,
There you are.
You are.
So you're saying Buckaroo Banzai.
Yes, I am.
I mean, it doesn't matter because I'm going
know.
with Infernal
Pete
Affairs.
betrayed
you
his
are.
childhood.
Okay.
I
Good.
just want you to know, Steve, that I'm with you. My spirit is with you.
Okay.
All right. Infernal Affairs held steady at 268. Next up, we have The Wizard of Oz or Pale Rider.
Pale Rider.
I will say The Wizard of Oz.
Oh,
Flat out classic.
Pale Rider. I don't believe I've seen Pale Rider.
Nuts.
Because I was trying to think, did I see that like way back in the 80s? And I don't think I did. I saw previews of it, but I've never actually seen the whole thing. So you guys are going to have to
All right.
RPS this one.
All right, let's do it.
Oh,
1, 2, 3.
Paper.
Rock. You have been kicking my
He's
booty
on a
lately.
roll.
And this is shocking because Wizard of Oz, Pete, is pretty high on our chart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that high.
So,
I
like,
guess. Pale Rider went, but it did go almost 100. It jumped almost 100. So
Pale
that was
Rider jumped 100.
That was way too big of a jump for Pale Rider. I like Pale Rider, but it's not that good. Pale Rider
that
went
was
from
big.
233 to 140 on our chart.
Wow. Actually, I feel like that's okay. I don't think Pale Rider is a top 100 movie for me, but I think it's in the top. I think it's okay where it is right now. Don't touch it now. Just back away from.
I can't. Next up, we have The Silent Partner or Labyrinth.
I got a lot out of that movie. I don't know. I'm leaning toward that one.
You guys did not vote for your childhood, but I'm voting for mine. I'm picking Labyrinth here.
Oh God.
I haven't seen Silent Partner.
Do you know what? You said Silent Partner versus Labyrinth. And the reason I was questioning is because the moment you said Labyrinth, I immediately forgot it.
Well, then we're going to have to do a Rochambeau here.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Paper.
Scissors.
Ah, wow.
Man. Silent Partner stayed steady, 134.
Okay.
As all is right with the world.
All right. Defending Your Life or Creed 2? Oh, Creed 2.
Creed 2.
I haven't seen Creed 2 yet.
You've got some watching to do.
It's really
I know it's on Hulu.
I know
and
it's
I'll
not
get
on the
around to it.
Criterion Network.
Hey, I'm trying to stay caught up with this French crime series. I'm like right there with you guys.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Star Trek Nemesis or Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock.
Oh
Wow.
Oh, the odds. It's Star Trek the odd ones, right? I mean, because it's the odd number ones that are always worse than the even numbered ones. And you've got
Nemesis has some really great things going on with the Romulans and the two sides of the moon and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
but it also has some pretty nonsensical stuff, especially when it involves Data and his the other Data.
Data and other data.
The pieces that they find.
When they go in the dune buggy.
They do. The dune
buggy. Worf drives a dune buggy.
Picard's driving.
He fires. Picard drives a dune buggy. Yeah.
I gotta. Star Trek 3 has its own problems. Christopher Lloyd as a Klingon fighting a giant slug.
Pretty rough with his dog.
Yeah.
His Klingon dog.
But it does have the big destruction of the Enterprise crashing into the planet, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Star Trek 3.
It's 3. Yeah.
Pete, are you struggling here still?
Well, of course. Yeah, I'm struggling. I
remember liking Star Trek 3 a lot more than I had in the past. It had some good stuff going for it.
Well, it's a middle years kind of original series Star Trek, and I definitely struggle with that one. And I like Nemesis just because I like Picard an awful lot, and I think his whole thing with and now I'm Tom. Not Tom Arnold.
Hardy.
Tom
Hardy?
Tom Hardy. I was like Tom Arnold, Tom Brady, Tom Brokaw, Tom
Brokaw.
Tom
Star
Brokaw.
Trek star.
His whole thing with his twin, Tom Brokaw. I really like that stuff. That part. There's some stuff.
There's
really
some
stupid,
good stuff.
really
And
like
set design is great. There's a
set
lot of
design
stuff.
is
Yeah,
awesome.
but no, it's searching for Spock.
You guys are still searching for Spock.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Lean in. Christopher Lloyd.
Star Trek 3 went from 307 to 162.
Oh, now that's inappropriate. That was too much. You should be filled with regret.
So that meant Nemesis was that much higher?
I guess
it should be, and it should be higher. I think.
It was
too late now. Next up, the Hospital or the Maltese Falcon. Oh, it's the Maltese Falcon for sure.
Maltese Falcon.
And Steve hasn't seen the Hospital, so
he
can't speak to that one. Next up, Moneyball or Alien? Oh, Alien.
Oh, Pete, sorry, it's Alien.
I was almost going to speak before, and now
it doesn't matter because Alien's one of my top movies. So no,
definitely.
I love Moneyball, but Alien is
Moneyball.
Alien stays at spot 21. Where are we on this? How many have we done, Steve?
That's 6.
Okay, gosh, it's only 6. It feels like we've done 20.
Yeah.
Wow, it feels like an eternity.
Right. Thank You for Smoking or The Adventures of Baron Munchausen. Thank You for Smoking, please.
Thank You for Smoking.
Oh yes, Thank You for Smoking.
Went from 199 to 116. I'm surprised it was so low.
Oh.
Wow, that's shocking to me.
Why was Munchausen higher than that? That's
Munchausen had a jump in one of these re-rankings because it went over something else. The Dead Zone or Snowpiercer? I got to go Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer.
Yeah.
Snowpiercer held steady at 42. What a great film directed by a South Korean filmmaker. That's Snowpiercer. All right, the Asphalt Jungle.
If there's a South Korean shaped shiv, we're pushing it in now.
Yes, we are. The Asphalt Jungle or the Book of Eli. Ooh.
Wow, that's tricky. I'm leaning toward Book of Eli.
I'm leaning toward Asphalt Jungle.
How
Little
hard?
John Huston, Sterling Hayden.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. But
and I have not seen Asphalt Jungle, so you guys got to battle that out.
I don't need to battle it.
Yeah, you do.
I don't really. Yeah, I do.
I don't know because you're on a winning streak. Oh no, you blew the last one, didn't you? So I don't.
No, I did not blow the last one.
Okay.
I chose not to battle,
keep
and
going.
that was the blow.
No.
No, I actually am okay. I don't have the will to fight about this one.
Okay,
So
Asphalt
Book of
Jungle
Eli?
then. Asphalt Jungle held steady at
Asphalt
247.
Jungle? Okay.
That feels good.
All right, A League of Their Own or Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Butch Cassidy and the
Butch
Sundance
Cassidy.
Kid.
I love League
All
of
right,
Their Own, but it is Butch
that's
Cassidy.
our 10.
That's held steady at 29. So there you
Of
go.
course, as
There
it
you
should.
go.
All right, some
Nicely
ranking,
done.
re-rank and done. There you go.
All right, judging by the rundown, we are now moving on to the list.
Ooh, so
Steve?
we did Le Trou as the movie that we talked about this week, kicking off our French crime film series, and it's about a prison break. So, of the choices that we put out there to our listeners over in our Discord group, it was prison breaks that they selected for us to talk about. So, Steve, kick us off with Prison Break movie that you
my
love.
first Prison Break movie, and there were quite a few ones that popped to mind. But this, as I did some searching, I thought, I have not seen this movie in forever, and I remember enjoying it a lot as a adolescent for I don't know what reason, because I just think about this. I'm like, this wasn't a movie for kids, really, but I just remember really enjoying Sylvester Stallone and a bunch of prisoners of war playing, soccer against the Germans in Victory. And I don't remember much of the beginning of that movie, but I remember loving that whole soccer, competition at the end. And are they going to escape? And are they going to win the soccer match? And then there's to get Sylvester Stallone to actually be the goalie, they had to break the goalie's arm so that they could get Sylvester Stallone to be on the team. And John Huston, 1981.
81.
Yeah. No, love that one. That's my first, I guess a bit of an unconventional prison break, but still there's, they're digging tunnels and they're breaking them out.
I only saw that for the first time, I don't know, sometime in the past 10 years or so, and I was really surprised by it. I enjoyed it. So good pick.
I've seen it once, and it was a long, long time ago. And had you shown me the poster, I don't think I would have told you that it was a Prison Break movie. It sounds like I need to watch it again.
He's escaping. Counts as Prison Break.
All right. So
okay. What do you got?
I got I try to do for these things. I found a movie that looked intriguing as I was doing my research, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to watch this movie. I've never seen it. And that is Jean Renoir's 1937 La Grande Illusion. And it was it was great. It was a great experience. It was heartbreaking and funny and charming and sad and kind of gross and pretty racist in some areas. And also some of the turns where you think that they're gonna escape and then they get transferred and then it's a whole nother movie, and it was great. And so I had a really great time with La Grande Illusion, and I think if you're up for another French movie after this series, you should add this to your list. 1937, Jean Renoir, La Grande Illusion.
That is a good one. Definitely something we may talk about on the show at one point in the future.
I think so.
Just maybe. Just maybe.
It's on the list.
I am, for my first one, I think I'm going to go with this one, and I think it's probably a little bit of a cheat because it was a miniseries on TV. And I don't think that is exactly...
I think we both signed at the same time at you.
Yes. I know. I never break these rules, but it's based off of a novel that is one of my favorites, and it's I think the best version that has been made of it. I could pick the more poor film version that was made in the late 90s, early 2000s, but I'm going with the 1998 miniseries, The Count of Monte Cristo, starring Gérard Depardieu as Edmond Dantes. I just love this story. I think it's such a fascinating journey. And as this guy who escapes this prison and then basically just goes down this really dark road of revenge for the rest of his life. Really interesting story. And I really found the book very mesmerizing. And I just was really impressed with what they did in that particular version of the telling of it. So that is my first pick, The Count of Monte Cristo.
I don't think I've seen it.
Not that version, no.
Have you seen the movie version that came out in the what was that?
That was the Kevin Reynolds.
Yeah,
version.
2002 was it?
Yeah, it was. 2002 with Jim Caviezel.
Right.
Yeah,
yes.
And Guy Pearce. Was really big and grand and over the top and a little nonsensical. It was a very Kevin Reynolds sort of movie.
Yes.
I saw that and I'm like, wow, they just made that a big turd. So, So anyway,
okay.
All right, Steve, back to you.
When I think of Prison Breaks, this one, I mean, it's got a prison break and it isn't the central piece, but it does set a lot of events in motion. And this was one that I think was a pivotal film in this writer-director's career, and that is Out of Sight. With George Clooney, Jennifer Lopez, Luis Guzman. I mean, there's so many great characters, great stories, and the whole idea of, the prison break that happens, just... Love this story. So that's my number 2, Out of Sight.
That is
a good one.
Yeah, that's a great pick. But I have to say, I'm relieved that mine hasn't been stolen yet, and I'm going to put it as my second pick because I think there's risk. I hope there's risk because I really like this movie, and I think it is an underrated prison break film. Although it's a solid 6.8 on IMDb, I'm talking about 2008's The Escapist. Brian Cox, Damian Lewis, Joseph Fiennes, Liam Cunningham. Liam Cunningham. Game of Thrones. Dominic Cooper is in this. Stephen McIntosh. His cast is just amazing. Frankly, in The Escapist, Brian Cox he spends his time trying to get out when he finds out his young daughter, has grown up and taken into a life of drugs, and he wants to get her out of that life. He needs to rescue her. The movie is told through a whole bunch of wonderful flashbacks that tell the story of how he landed in prison, along with him trying to escape from prison. The plan is great. It's essentially LeTrue. There's sewers, there's digging, there's running through, there's gates, there's sawing, it's all kinds of the prison escape things. Really enjoyed this movie. 2008's The Escapist. Director Rupert Wyatt.
I've never heard of it either.
Yeah, it's good. You should see it.
Wow.
I'll put it on my list, but I'm like, You're making this up. I've never even heard of this. You're listing out these people's names. I'm like, what?
All these people
I don't
together.
know.
You know these people.
Right.
They're real people.
Sure,
These
I
are
do.
actual human people.
Oh, Rupert Wyatt did that right after Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
I'm just saying, he's a real person too.
No idea that this was a thing.
Yep.
Interesting. All right. Well, there you go.
You know what? That is, people are going to ask me, what's the best thing that happened to you today? And I'm going to say this right here.
This was it.
Yeah.
So he did this, and then he did Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
He did Captive State.
And then, what is that?
Oh, for crying out loud, Steve.
I don't either. I don't think I know either.
You guys.
Oh wait, I remember this one.
This was the John Goodman, and it was a Netflix
the
jam.
Alien thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and it didn't do well.
Yeah, that's why.
It is a
disappeared.
solid 6. It's a 6.0. So
You can't say no. The movies that are on the cusp do not say. You can't say solid.
No, I mean solid.
It's right there on the border of being sucky.
It's right. It's the sucky border.
It's right there on the border.
All right, you win. You win this round.
All right. For my second pick, I'm going with a film that is about kind of there's definitely prison break in it, but it's also just about kind of pushing the bounds of what you can get away with in prison and stuff. And it is the film that really makes you just kind of completely fall for Paul Newman. It is Cool Hand Luke. And not to spoil the film too much, but the prison break that happens at the end of it that really kind of cements the final act of the film is really just like such a great way to end this story after following this character for so long. What a great film. That's my second choice, Cool Hand Luke.
And that's a
There
steal.
it is.
Mm.
How could it
How
not
could that
be?
right?
That
I'm
is
surprised that it hadn't been said.
It was, well, when I save it for the top of my list, then yes, because what we have here is a failure to communicate.
Exactly.
So that means I gotta go to an alternate.
Well, I hope that doesn't push you to stealing my number one. I guess we'll find out.
What is a prison, actually? And what does it mean to escape?
It sounds like it's going to be some Terrence Malick movie. Oh, jeez.
Prison of the Mind.
Yes, the prison of the. Yes, Pete, it is the prison of the mind. When you wake up and something's not quite right, and you're trying to escape, and you realize that it's all been a setup because you're crazy, or are you? On Shutter Island. Which has elements of the prison break to it, but because there is an attempt to escape. But yes, it's a different type of prison that perhaps he's in. So that's my alternate number one is Shutter Island.
I can believe that you picked that. I totally can. That's on brand. If there ever was a movie for Steve to pick, I can't believe that my final pick actually got exactly where I wanted it to be on my list. I can't believe it.
There were a lot of movies, there are a lot of good ones to pick from. So I'm
there are
not surprised that you guys have some alternate. There's some other ones here that haven't come up.
You're right.
Yeah.
There are some movies on that list, but not all of those movies did I watch with my pop when I was 15 years old with rapt attention while eating beef jerky. And that is Don Siegel's Escape from Alcatraz, 1979. Oh, come on. I really enjoyed this movie. It's Clint Eastwood. For me, it's the standard. It's the movie that sets the standard for prison break movies in my head. It is the canonical prison break movie, and Alcatraz is the prison of all prisons. And there's sharks. And come on, Alcatraz. But
are they shooting at the sharks with guns?
My dad and I went to Alcatraz and did the tour and tried to reenact it, and they kind of frown on that. The tour guides when you take it too far. so there's that. Escape from Alcatraz, 1979. Clint Eastwood, director Don Siegel.
Nice. It's an enjoyable one, but it's not my number one. My number one, I'm glad. I can't believe that I made it this far with this one as well, because this is not only is it one of my favorite Prison Break movies, but it is one of my favorite movies, period. It is the fantastic adaptation by Stephen King's Rita Hayworth in The Shawshank Redemption by Frank Darabont. It is, of course, The Shawshank Redemption. What a film. And just the way that this story unfolds, and that whole final act when the prison break is revealed and you see what Andy Dufresne has done and how it all came to pass, all told by the fantastic voice of God himself, Morgan Freeman. What a film. It's just one of my favorites. So there you go.
You know, I got to tell you, I think deep down, I knew you were going to go with Shawshank as your number one. I didn't want to ruin that for you.
Oh,
yeah.
I just figured we just assumed that everybody knew that's a great. That's like, well, if you're going to do a Prison Break list, well, yeah, everybody knows Shawshank is the best.
Too, yeah.
Is there? So what else is there besides that? So, but no, I'm glad it got added to it. Somebody mentioned it.
Yes. It hasn't been on a list. If it has, it's been quite a while. So.
Well, I haven't finished the database, but I don't think it has. It's been a long time. I will say that my backup, had you guys chosen all of my favorites, was going to be Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, and breaking Princess Leia out of prison. And it would just have been a big thumb in the eye. I wanted Cube on there, but I felt like I have already picked that 3 times over the last 2 years, and that was going to be one too many. So
yeah.
Would you call that a prison? I guess, kind of.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, Steve.
Yes. I don't recall why they all end up there. Like, it's not like they did something bad. They were just picked for certain reasons, though, right?
Andy, nobody knows until
that's why I have a hard
Cube
time
Zero,
calling it a prison.
Hypercube. Cube.
It's
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
You have to watch all the cubes.
I'm a little disappointed that you didn't pick that space station breakout that you love so much, Pete. Wasn't Guy Pearce in it or something?
Oh yeah.
What is
totally.
that? Yes.
Oh man, why can't I remember the name of that movie?
I don't know, but I was convinced you were going to bring that one up. Was it called Breakout?
Andy.
Is it just Breakout? No, it's
I think
Lockout. 2012.
Yes. Lockout. That's
you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And it's a solid 6.1. So it just squeaks over the 6 sucky area.
That is right. Yes, he's got to rescue the president's daughter from an outer space prison taken over by violent inmates.
Absolutely right. And the president's daughter is Maggie Grace. And
yeah,
super charming.
Well, there you go.
Right.
You lost your chance.
I did.
You lost her.
But now it's on the radar, Andy, and it's because of you.
And now it's on the
we got 2 more weeks of French crime movies, so we'll see if we can shoehorn it in there. I'll come up with a reason.
What are we going to put up on the board over in Discord for this coming week? I mean, we're doing Rafifi as our next film, which is a heist.
It's not a prison break.
It's not. It's a heist film. They're stealing from
it's a heist, right?
They're stealing basically all the stuff out of a safe in a jewelry store.
Right.
It's just like Guy Pearce had to steal Maggie Grace out of that space prison in Lockout, just like it.
We'll call it the Lockout honorary list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely great heist films. It's got to be. I mean, don't you think? Isn't that easy? Maybe we could say jewel heists.
Jewel heists.
Okay. Already got one in there.
Would safe cracking films be enough of a difference? The best safe cracking films.
I'm just wondering what else we could do, because there's that whole element of it, but there's also like they're dealing with the gangsters and the guy who squeals on them.
Right. The betrayal and kidnapping and all that. Yeah.
Great movie Betrayers.
Or Double Cross.
Double Cross.
I'm looking at IMDb keywords here. Double Cross is one in there.
I like Double Cross.
Yeah.
There's also, we could go to the structural stuff, which is like, because there's a solid half hour of the heist itself of silence. Yeah, and I don't know how to frame that in a way that we could even narrow down.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we could say like real-time crime stories or something like that, or something. It doesn't even have to be crime, I guess. It could just be, scenes where a film depicts like a real process in real time or something like that.
Well, because there are multiple elements of that, because there were lots of, I mean, that was one of the things about this was that it gave people lots of ideas of how to like do a lot of these things, like the foam in the alarm box. So
That's
so films
it, Steve, best instruction manual movies.
Yeah.
Oh,
Movies
okay. There you go.
That teach you to do something in the right way.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
All
That's good, because that's broad. That's not just crime. There's lots of other things.
That's a great call, Steve. Okay.
And then
that's good. That feels like a good list, right?
Well, we only have two.
Three?
Great Jewel Heist and then best instruction manual movies.
Okay.
We were going to do something about the betrayals or betrayers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Double cross, betrayal.
We'll just say double crosses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Okay.
I like all of those.
Okay. Some good options there. So that'll go up in our Show Talk channel over in our Discord group. For those who are Patreon supporters, you can hop into that channel and get your vote cast.
Cast it hard and fast, because lately...
Certainly the last poll was very leaned very heavily one direction. Forget those other options. We want Prison Breaks.
Good night, gents.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Hey, Steve, where should people find our merch?
Merch.com. TNR merchandise.
The nextreel.com/merch.
The nextreel.com/merch.
For crying out loud, it's a train
What
wreck.
just happened there?
I haven't had my coffee this morning. The Next Reel. You can get some great merchandise over at thenextreel.com/merch.
There it is.
There you go.
All right.
And you can support the show. If you're not a supporter already, head over to patreon.com/thenextreel or thenextreel.com/Patreon. Who knew those would both work?
Wow.
And you can check out the tiers that are available over there. And then you can do things like you can watch live streams of many of the shows as we record them. And there's a lot of nonsense that gets cut out of this main show that you're listening to. If you think this is bad, you should join us for the live stream and talk about a disaster show. We really appreciate
You're really
you.
selling it there.
I'm telling you, people like reality TV. This is your show right here. I'll tell you, we really, all sincerity, we appreciate your support. Throw us a few bucks a month. It helps us defray the costs of both production and hosting and podcast delivery around the world. And there are little. It's very much like Grubhub. What you don't see when you download a podcast is just the people on bikes who are delivering bits to your house, to your neighborhood. It's hard work, and so you are defraying the costs for those folks. And so we appreciate your participation. If you haven't done it yet, patreon.com/thenextreel, thenextreel.com/Patreon.
One or the other. See you, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Hondo.